Welcome back to the desk for the penultimate, well, the ultimate game of today, I should say, between eUnited and Rival. Already, we've had some action-packed games all the way through, but this one is another telling what's a rematch at Worlds.
Anytime you get a Worlds Finals rematch, it's going to be a good one, and it's particularly with these two teams because both of these teams aren't pleased with one another because, of course, Rival upset that eUnited took the World Championship from them. eUnited not particularly pleased that Rival got their revenge during spring.
That's correct, and as you can see now, this matchup, we're on match 8. The loser of this will go on to face Nocturnes tomorrow. Winner gets to meet NRG. Will it be double EU in that upper bracket tomorrow?
Could be. I don't know. I think eUnited's playing really, really well right now. Rival was the team that looked the most vulnerable against the international teams yesterday. But at the same time, Rival has historically looked fairly vulnerable against international teams and then turned around and dominated against the SPL ones. So I don't know that I would take that as a sign of weakness here from Rival.
We'll get on to Rival in a second. Let's go and have a little look at the United boys. If you've not seen them before, this is the World Championship roster, current world champs. And this season, bits of ups and downs, but still consistent enough is what I want to say.
For the last few weeks, it's been all ups for this squad, man. I think that they've really got a good grasp of the meta, and I think that they're a favorite to take home this summer finals.
Well, coming into this game, they did have an interview earlier on today. Let's see how they feel going up against Rival.
We got Venenu and Coach Cardi over here, eUnited. First of all, just congratulations. You guys have looked really good this season. Your next opposition is Rival. I mean, you also fought against them at Worlds. Y'all fought against them spring split, summertime. What's different? How are you going to beat them this time around?
I think in spring split we didn't really, we were playing our worst that we ever have as a full team, and we still almost beat them. So, if we could almost beat them at our worst, then we're definitely going to beat them right now.
A lot of confidence there, Venenu. So, obviously you guys were holding back in the last round, but watching Rival, do you think that they were playing with their full hand, or are you expecting something different in your set?
We're probably expecting something different for sure. They definitely seemed like they kind of did what we did. Didn't really want to show anything, but still, obviously wanted to win. So it's a mix-up right there, but we're pretty confident.
This one, more to the right side of the table, this is all for you, Coach Cardi. I mean, obviously, you're not going to tell us all your secret strats, but give me a little insight into what's different here at LAN versus regular season.
At LAN, it's just kind of a different environment. You know, everyone's together. And throughout this season, we've just kind of gained confidence as a team, and I felt like these picks and have kind of suited us more than spring split. So, yeah.
Who is the team to beat in this LAN outside of you guys, obviously? If you beat Rival, are you winning it all here?
Yes. I think Rival is our team to beat, and if we beat them, I think finals are looking pretty free.
Not worried at all about NRG or Space Station? Fair enough. Thank you so much, Cardiac and Venenu, for your time. Good luck on the rest of the tournament. Thank you very much.
Well, I mean, we'll get to that who a little bit later on in this tournament at some point in time, but right now, coming into this LAN, Ryan, talking to some of these eUnited players behind the scenes, they want Rival's scalp here today. They really want it because of the fact that Rivals seem a little bit confident and looking down at eUnited saying they shouldn't have won Worlds. That's kind of the mentality I've got there. So eUnited have got a point to prove here.
Look, Rival has historically been a very confident team. Some would say a little bit arrogant at times, and I think that that's well warranted with their success.
Oh, when you win, you can, yeah.
Exactly, but eUnited earned that World Championship by my estimation, and certainly wants to prove that here against Rival. I mean, you heard Rival talk about how they really wanted that victory last time up against eUnited, and it proves that they were the better team, and I don't think that sat well with this squad.
But at the end of the day, the finals, you know, when it comes to it, whoever wins the last LAN is the ones that are the ones in the spotlight, and that's Rival. Let's see what they had to say about facing off against EU today.
We're here with Rivals, iceicebaby jungle, Thode in the Hunter position. You guys are up against eUnited today. Obviously, they were probably not playing their normal draft yesterday, but what are you expecting out of them today?
We're expecting from them to just play their game. Obviously, they're prepared, so are we. So it's just a clash of metas yet again. We'll see what happens. Who's gonna turn on top?
Vote for you. I mean, this is a pretty tough matchup. I want you to talk to me in depth with a lot of words about how you're going to win the duel lane.
I'm going to try to be the better player. It's going to be hard to be the better player because PandaCat is pretty naughty, but you know, going to give him all.
If there's a way to beat PandaCat, Vode, what is that way?
Outbrain him because he's pretty stupid.
Okay, you actually have me lost there. Well, going into the jungle position, iceicebaby, what are you expecting from Screammmmm? And are you going to try to stop that or just play more of your style and dictate the pacing?
I'll just play my game. He's gonna try, like from past experience, I think he's pretty aggressive early on. So I think as long as we don't mess up early on, we're gonna be in a good position.
I'm going to tell you a little bit about eUnited. They're confident. eUnited is very, very confident. Ice, I don't know if the camera can see it, but you're rocking the green shorts. Usually that means you're feeling good and confident. How confident are you guys, and how do you think this whole set's going to go?
Oh, outside of the van positioning that I didn't have today, I think everything else is in line, so hopefully it doesn't mess up the mats.
I've got the green top as well.
2-0, 2-1?
2-1.
Yeah, I'd say 2-1 as well.
Them or you?
Well, obviously us.
Thanks a lot, Rival. Always a pleasure. Good luck in your next match.
Thanks.
Well, that was the politest I've heard a Scottishman speak before in quite a while.
That was polite. He called PandaCat stupid.
I mean, there's a couple of word choices there that generally would have replaced the word stupid in that
Yeah,
one, so
fair
I'm
enough.
quite surprised that Vote went with that option.
Man, I really want a Vote announcer pack. I won't understand it, but I'll think it's funny.
Did you understand everybody said that?
More, I got the gist.
Yeah, that's kind of what we all do, to be fair.
Yeah, yeah.
we're
I mean,
close
I got
by,
it.
But you're just trying to pick out words.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. I'm like, okay, PandaCat, good, okay, yeah, I got it.
Yeah, got it.
Yeah.
Along those lines. Well, this set is going to be an absolute doozy between the two. We've seen them go at it a couple of times before. Do you expect 3 games here today, Aggro?
I think we could be in for a 2-0. Now, I'm
Yeah.
not going to tell you which way I think it's going to go because I
it
don't
could
know.
go either.
Because it could go either way. But I could see one of these teams coming out and really looking dominant here. And honestly, if I did have to choose one, I think it's more likely that eUnited win in 2 than Rival win in 2.
So from the set we saw so far between North America and Europe, we've seen Space Station Gaming and Energy.
Yep.
And win that set, you saw answers to Zhong in this Thanatos.
Yep.
And then we saw Energy pulling out the Chronos. Do you reckon these two teams specifically have anything in their bag that they're going to bring to this LAN meta?
I think it's reasonable to assume, because it's public knowledge, that eUnited and Space Station are scrim partners
Sure.
with one another. Basically exclusive scrim partners. And so I think it's safe to assume that if Deathwalker goes Zhong, Benji will want to go Thanatos.
Right.
I think that's fair to assume. Outside of that, I'm pretty lost, because I don't think that Energy's composition, maybe the double auto attack stuff will carry over, and Rival might be interested in that. I don't think we're going to see Vote on Chronos. That is an Emilito pick. I don't think that's exclusive to, just, oh, this is what's meta right now. I think that's just exclusive to Energy in particular. I think it's much more likely that we see something totally different from Rival, because EU has always been a little bit more flavor-oriented in the meta, whereas NA thinks one thing is really good and then only does that one thing.
Now, if the fans are just tuning in now, is there a player on either side that you think is the one to watch, or is it a specific role?
I think it's Hunter. I really do think it's Vote up against PandaCat. I think that both of these two have been under-the-radar performers in a lot of aspects. I don't understand how people don't, when you're talking about top ADCs in the entire world, I think these are 2 of the top 3, and I think Emilito's the other one in that conversation, and I'm not sure anyone else is that close. Arkil has an argument.
I'll tell you.
Outside of that, put them in any order of 3 you want, and I think you could be correct.
Funny enough, when you talk about the 2 hunters in this matchup, I completely agree. But then add the supports for the duo lane itself, it's very similar between these two, and I think that's one of the reasons why when they clash, it's always so entertaining to watch.
Yeah, I think eUnited's had the most dominant duo lane in North America for a while, and for Europe, Rival has been really, really consistent. Arkil and Trix have pretty good laning phases a lot of the time. But overall, I think that these 2 duo lanes are definitely a focal point for me. These 2 in particular, though, I still go back to the Hunters, because these are 2 Hunters that won't just play passively and wait until the team fighting phase. If they think they can get a solo kill, they will all in commit.
Do we class Artemis and Chulainn probably off the table for this set from these 2 teams' point of view, or will the meta develop with it means one or both of them stay available?
I think in this best of 3, it's pretty likely that we don't see either of those. However, if these 2 teams were to meet again in a best of 5 later on in the finals, that's where we'd start to see those get opened up in favor of banning away the flavor picks.
And that is an interesting fact, because with it being a lower bracket, sometimes you can think about it's okay to lose this set.
Yeah.
But when you look towards the finals of actually how the finals will work this time, if you win the first of best of 5 in the finals, you're going to have to reset if you're from the lower bracket.
Yep.
So you have to play 10 games. So it's not something you want to be in a position to do, to have to drop to the lower bracket in the first place. This is an important game then.
It is. I mean, look, you get 2 chances, even if you're in the loser's bracket, but you have to work to win that LAN. And it's even harder than when Rival did it in the spring. So I don't think that either of these teams are feeling like, hey, it's all right if we lose this. You know, it's not a big deal. This is a big deal to both of these teams, and it really should be, because sticking in the winner's side makes your life a whole lot easier.
Venenu and Wlfy, both these players have been focal points for their teams for a while. The good, the bad, and the ugly is the best way I can put this. They've both had moments of absolute stardom, and then moments where people have called them out for being the issue on their team before, but they're still here, and they still go back to it again.
Yep, and well-deserved. I mean, look, everyone has their ups and downs as a player. These two have been overall pretty consistent. Certainly some moments to forget for both, but I do think that the overall takeaway is that these guys are both really, really good at playing mid laners.
I would say both their god pulls are very similar too, from what we generally see out of them. Mainly, you know, the Janus is probably the biggest contention. We've seen a lot of knocks out of Venenu lately, however, and the Thoth.
Yeah, Thoth and Janus, certainly the two that spring to mind. You won't see as much Poseidon from Venenu, but you also see him play some Hunters. Wlfy can play some Hunters as well. Isn't it funny, by the way, that you know, NA, specifically Space Station, come into the spring land and they're like double Hunters, you know, auto attackers, and they get stomped, and then they just lost to double auto attack compositions against Energy. I found
but
that
Energy's a different beast, I would say. But yeah, maybe it's turned. Maybe NA were ahead of the curve and didn't realize it. We'll find out as this one unfolds. One thing to mention, though, is Ra. Now, Wlfy does have a good Ra in his god pull, and we've not seen too much of it just lately.
No.
But I think there's a chance that eUnited should be aware of that as being a danger point that Wlfy could end up going to.
I don't think it's worth forgetting about for sure, because previously, I mean, if you left Ra open against Rival, that's first pick for them. They were first picking that. Dignitas, remember, they played, what, 6 games in a row against Wlfy, and if memory serves, I think they banned Ra all 6 games to keep Wlfy off of it. So something to certainly keep in mind.
Finally into picks and bans, and those players took a little while getting ready, so apologies for that. But as you can see, Rival in the background, they don't have that legendary Alpha Jackal here this week. He's unable to come, so they've brought along Cover Tactician in his place, and I believe they're Skyping him in wherever possible, or just trying to get him on the phone. So we'll find out how much of an influence that makes. There's the notebook getting opened by Cover there in the background to be tuning with them. And the first ban of this set will be Thoth.
No surprise. This is a pick that, like we already mentioned, both these mid laners love, and this is the prototypical throwaway ban, where is Thoth the best mid laner in the world? Not by my estimation. Probably could make an argument that it is.
I think at the casual level, I think he's okay, but I think at the professional level, he can become an issue.
He can become an issue, but he can also be a non-issue sometimes. So
same for Chernobog.
Same for Chernobog, and both of those get banned away. I do think that teams are a little bit more hesitant to play against Chernobog these days than they are against Thoth, because Thoth just has games, like I said, where he's not quite as effective, but he does have his ones that he carries. What I was going with that was, though, that eUnited can ban that away and understand that they can still get a priority pick here in that first slot, one that won't open them up to a lot of counter pick opportunities, and one that can set them up for great success.
PolarBearMike running his mouth there, because he calls the shots in these picks and bans. He's a big part of that for sure. It will be Ratatoska, so a shot towards iceicebaby. The rise of the right in the jungle is something we've seen a consistent amount of throughout this tournament.
Yeah.
It's a great setup for the Ra that we were talking about earlier on, but good for a lot of mid-majors.
Rival should be looking to ban Artemis here, I think. I think I'd be banning Artemis. PandaCat's been playing Artemis since she was considered low tier.
I mean, he had Blink.
Yeah,
he was the first blinker.
Artemis is high tier right now, and you don't want to give that up to PandaCat. I think this is smart. I don't think eUnited want to pick Zhong. I've got a feeling that they're trying to leave Zhong open to let Rival take it.
Yeah.
I think eUnited is likely looking for Janus here. Maybe Athena as well.
I was going to say, Athena's also on the table.
That's a PBM classic, and Kalas is so good with it. I know that team has a lot of respect for Kalas and is very scared of him getting some of his priority picks. I'm surprised that is not Athena.
Athena Ra, maybe in response from Rival, could be an option here.
You don't need Ra here.
You're right.
Yeah, you don't need Ra here. You can go Athena Jingwei. You can go for Athena Medusa, though this seems a little bit early for Medusa, but eUnited historically, whenever Artemis is banned. Medusa is the next one off the table for them, so I would expect to see that from PandaCat here.
Long talking point, and there's Wlfy talking away. Just like Mike was reunited, he'll be very much involved in the picks and bans. I believe it's him and Deathwalker, though, mainly the mouths of the team that will talk most of the time here.
During game, I was talking to Deathwalker the other day. In game, usually Deathwalker and Vote are pretty quiet. It's really majority Wlfy and iceicebaby who do the majority of the shot calling. Yeah, exactly, and they kind of let their play do the talking, and they go right to the Chulainn.
It's early.
This is early for it, and I think that I wonder if Benji is going to go for an early Hercules in order to counteract this Chulainn. We saw Aquarius have great success with that, and so again, if Space Station's doing it, it's fair to assume that eUnited probably has a hand in that as well. But I wonder if that's a bait to try and get the Hercules picked in, and then iceicebaby can go for one of his favorite warrior jungles, the Odin.
Yeah, we could potentially see that. Rival going to take the time and lock in the Athena, so no real surprise. You can't be giving that over to PolarBearMike for free there.
Nope.
eUnited then have the opportunity. So a bit of global presence for both. Athena in 1 and Janus with that mobility in 2. Scream on your screen there in the front. And he has a big game ahead of him.
He does. I think I'm going Serket Medusa here, if I'm just based on what eUnited has picked throughout this split.
Why Medusa?
They really value Medusa.
Really?
They do very highly, just based on, I mean, I was looking back over their picks and bans over the split. They pick Medusa an awful lot.
Oh.
They do decide to go for the Zhong.
Oh.
Interesting. Okay, so they go for it themselves. A rival has to be predicting this, at least in some capacity. But they'd already taken their solo laner. I doubt Wlfy would have wanted it in the mid lane.
I do think they should take Serket then, because you don't want that against the Zhong here for the solo
I think
lane
Serket
campaign,
is
right?
probably correct here for Scream. He's got such a good Serket. His Susano also really impresses me a lot of the time. Look, Scream's just been a great jungler for a while now.
Yeah.
I mean, he really doesn't get talked about enough in my mind about how much he controls games for this eUnited squad. And I think that picking him and his god here would be a good way to set eUnited up for success.
It does seem in the grand scheme of how Smite ends up working to the general public is that, you know, you remembered for the mistakes you make, but not necessarily the consistent performances you do make, like Scream has had just lately.
Sounds nothing like what we get remembered for.
No.
Ram?
No.
Never. No.
Never. I don't have a good performance ever. I don't think I've had one in 2 years. Terra will be the lock-in, but this means that Serket is available now, and will we see iceicebaby maybe go towards that? Because I think that's a really solid pick here.
Could still be Odin here, honestly. Again,
You're right,
Zhong
actually.
and Terra could go straight for the Odin. That lets you set up a lot of different picks in the mid and ADC, usually the two roles that are really most responsible for following up off Odin Cage anyways.
Remember, Athena could also go into the jungle too. We've seen that a couple of times out of the Europeans. Not something I necessarily need here, especially when you've got someone like Callus on your team who can pilot that Athena so well. Rama for Vote. That's a very early hunter pick.
It is. This is curious to me. I think Wlfy really wants to wait on his pick to give himself some more safety in the mid lane, understand exactly what he can and can't get away with. Terra is already a god that I really don't want to play raw against because that root is so good.
Thinking Raijin at the moment is
I was
available?
thinking Raijin, yeah. I was thinking Raijin potentially. I was thinking maybe a Susano for iceicebaby, which can be really, really good against the Janus. Not great against Zhong, but great against Janus.
Find out what's next, because Rama's pretty good against the Janus as well, if you think about it, and the Zhong, not taking himself, well, dealing damage, but he can take himself out of the combat and chase down Janus, who jumps through those portals away and maybe stays away from some of that damage from Zhong. Self-peel, very important sometimes. Serket taken out by Rival. They recognize that they're not going to go for it themselves here. Interesting.
No, not yet, but I still think Susano, good ban by eUnited. I think they were on the same train that I was in that spot.
But I do think Rival could have just held that Serket ban there and maybe tempted eUnited to go for it themselves and save themselves the opportunity.
Maybe, but it seems to me that iceicebaby has an idea in mind. And don't forget, Odin is still on the table here. I mean, just because they didn't pick it there doesn't mean they couldn't take Wlfy's mid laner, let eUnited lock in two other gods that aren't good against that Odin, and then try and surprise them with it. It just, I don't know, I've just got a feeling about it right now that might be coming soon.
What a crazy day we've had so far. We're only at the end of day 2, the final set ahead of us, and it's already the World Champions versus the World Championship rivals, which met them in the final. Naja will be the second ban by Rival, as now eUnited look over their notes to decide what the final ban will be. The focus towards junglers is quite clear in this counter ban phase.
Very much so. And eUnited has already dedicated one ban towards iceicebaby. They've got one more still on the table. They could try and ban away Ra now. They could ban away something else in the mid lane like a Discordia that I think would be pretty good.
That's a good call too. Where's Nemesis at these days? Because Nemesis has always been known to be good against
Yeah, that's true.
and Terra too, to be fair.
Yeah, honestly, this is looking pretty okay. I do think Nemesis strikes me as a little bit weak right now.
But iceice has still gone to it.
He
before.
has. Look, it's just so easy to get sprint at level 1 as Zhong solo, and Nemesis ultimate just doesn't phase you anymore. It's such a good relic that is so ubiquitous these days that the Nemesis has kind of fallen out of favor because of it.
That Poseidon ban, so eUnited respecting Wlfy's Krakens if required.
I like it.
Rival now have 2 more picks left, looking more than likely for a mid laner here, and a jungler is what we were expecting.
This is going to be pretty telling from Rival. Just not even what god they go with, but what role they choose to fill first. I think that going for a mid laner here is exactly what they're going to do. They go for the Neith. Wow. This means that this Athena is likely jungle in my mind. This is probably going to be Athena jungle Fafnir support.
Yeah,
because
you might have that.
Athena Neith is so good because we talk about things like taunt into Jingwei knockup are really good because it doesn't the DR from the taunt doesn't affect you.
Sure.
But remember, roots are categorized differently in CC, and so you will stand there for the full duration of a taunt into a spirit arrow.
If eUnited play their cards right here, they can just look at the squad and go, let's just go tanky. Because the reason being, that is a consistent damage dealer. Oh my goodness me. Neith is not going to have fun here.
I love it. I love it. This is the type of pick that Screammmmm can play very aggressive. And the AMC. No Medusa for PandaCat here. The AMC. Interesting that it isn't Jingwei, which can provide a knockup. Interesting that it isn't Hu Yi that can provide a knockup. Well, they had some options. And then the Habwa jungle.
Oh.
This is, I love Rivals draft. I love eUnited's draft. I do think that this Awilix has the potential to really bully iceicebaby in the early game.
Yeah.
And that's where this whole composition is centered around for me. How much pressure can Screammmmm get in the jungle?
And he's going to get the support the whole game from Venenu on that Janus to give him the portals out of danger or even into the enemy jungle time and time again. Well, I
love it.
I actually couldn't call this game now. What do you guys at home think? Those guys in Mixer chat, get your vote in now. We'll have a little look at who you think will take game 1. Obviously, it's a best of 3. But this is telling already to see the double hunters coming out, the double auto attackers, let's put it that way, from Europe. When in the spring,
so funny.
It was North America trying to do it and it didn't work.
They're like, are you guys serious? Come on, man. But hey, it might work. It already did work for Energy. I really shouldn't be that surprised by this Awilix pick. I love how quickly eUnited went for it. As soon as the Neith was locked in, they were like, okay, thank you very much. Screammmmm played this during the summer split, I believe, and had a phenomenal game if my memory serves me correctly. This is the type of pick that Screammmmm always likes to go for these sort of off-meta, surprise you selections. It's the Bastets, it's the Awilix that, you know, you're like, man, this is hard to play against. They're different play styles that are hard to play around at times, and this, to me, looks like the kill Wlfy comp.
Who do you think's going to win?
I've got eUnited.
Okay, let's get it over and find out if they do. It's F-Dot and Anatoly standing by for game 1.
The world's rematch here, folks. Tom and Anatoly on the call for you, and Rival and eUnited on the battlefield. And what a draft it is, Toly.
It's going to be a hard 180 from what we saw yesterday. eUnited pulling up all the stops. I love the early aggression from Screammmmm, picking up this Awilix, really trying to capitalize on this Neith pick.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of Screammm's go-to characters in a different world. He loves to play the Awilix, but honestly, you're not always given the right to play Awilix, right? I mean, she has trouble kind of in the late game, despite the fact that she will blow you up if given the opportunity, especially with that passive, but just not the world's safest selection. But when you have Neith, who kind of like hang glides in the air for a jump, yeah, I'm going to go with the Awilix.
Now, Neith is definitely an easy target. Deathwalker, Salmon Leap, you can kind of catch that. And knowing Screammmmm, he's confident in setting himself up because looking at the rest of his teammates, there's no one else playing setup. It's only Screammmmm on that Awilix.
What an interesting composition from both sides, though. I mean, I think Benji is going to be troublesome here for Deathwalker on the Zhong. He's just as an analyst, man, he's one of my favorite solo lane Zhong, the way he powers this lane through.
And the way eUnited drafted their composition, they allowed Zhong to kind of go through because they first picked the Janus, trying to eliminate that option from Wlfy. And once the Chulainn was locked in, they realized, oh, okay, now Benji gets the Zhong without having to worry about too much poke. You got to worry about that burst damage before you get the heal. Yeah. And Chulainn doesn't really provide that once we changed the transformation where he can only use one ability once at level 1 transforming.
Man, I really that whole play in the beginning was so very interesting. And that's more your world. He kept attacking Benji to make sure the minions would follow him away from the tower as he backed to the blue buffs, and he got experience for both the blue buff and the minions, because once he got back, he tossed the card on them, making sure that even though they were killed by the tower, he would still get credit. PolarBearMike and friends on the left-hand side just popping off, making sure that everybody is a little bit hurt.
And it's all about the little things in both of these side lanes. PandaCat going for the Mage's Blessing, trying to get the Beast Swarm and the Honey to do a little extra damage. Probably going to rush into Transcendence. I'm not expecting an early Soul Eater the same way that Snoopy likes to do with his Muzen Cobb, but just an extra ability damage from Mage's Blessing allows him to win these 1v1 skirmishes.
And this is why we saw Benji prioritize that early farm so much, because for Zhong, it's really about this level 3. Once you are able to hit level 3, you don't necessarily clear the wave, but you can walk into anything you want. You're able to heal up a little bit more. You're also able to deal out some of the damage, because level 3, you have 1 level in each of your abilities, including, I'm going to bring it up, the double basic, Toli.
It's important to bring that up because it matters, and speaking of mattering, there's a lot of damage being dished out between this dual lane. Sprint being popped. eUnited, they want blood.
And there's the slow, but a little bit too late on the aggression. PandaCat just a little too far to really make it count. So he's going to be able to just calm it down a little bit, but the damage onto Collis might push him out of the lane.
Scream making sure that Benji will not be denied on his own blue buff. You can tell Deathwalker was thinking about it. They wanted to look for the invade, and that's an important thing to do against any sort of mage or guardian that heavily relies on the blue buff. But despite securing the blue buff, now sharing an extra wave, Deathwalker soloing his side of the map should hit level 5 first.
Benji, though, when it comes down to the Zhong ultimate, PolarBearMike taunted and don't even need an ultimate. PolarBearMike in trouble. Vote with the roll forward. Team Rival first on the board. First blood for the purple squad.
Now, I don't think that one was worth it, trying to look for the purple buff invade or the contest. Rival doing a good job backing off and then going back in onto this Terra that was just a little too far forward for their own good. A first blood in the way of Vote. The Ram transitioning to this mid game is a solid way to start stacking the Devourer's gauntlets.
Yeah, I mean, you really want to rush Ram into that mid to late game. Obviously, one of the more late game oriented characters on the map. So, just want to avoid as much early game as you can. Either stay quiet or be very loud and rush past it.
You need numbered game. A 2-on-2, I think that Rival can still fight into you despite a Muzen Cobb having such great clear and Terra having a good amount of control. Between the two of them, there's still some counter engage. You can't disrespect the potential of the control and damage from Callus and Vote. Once these junglers start making a presence, that's what's going to dictate who really dominates the early game.
Both solo laners level 5 now. Level 6 actually for Benji. He's got a leg up here, and
it's because he cleared the way first.
Exactly.
Look at all those archers.
Yeah.
It's like 5, 6 maybe.
A whole bunch. Yeah, I'd say so. Deathwalker to hit off this one. There it is.
Solo lane.
All right, Tully.
You just got to know these little things. Scream making a rotation, trying to strip away some blue buff experience. He could easily steal this with a well-timed third ability. Not going to find it.
Gets the knock up, the pull, and the beads. That's a win. Scream very happy about that one, no problem.
Having vision, so important around these corridors, whether it's purple buff or the blue buff. Not wanting to steal away the blue buff experience, he's more concerned about the defensive relic. Now iceicebaby, for the next 140 seconds, has to constantly worry about Scream hiding around any sort of jungle camp looking for round number 2.
Mid lane seems to be where the action is oriented. PolarBearMike actually misses the stun, but no big deal. I don't think Venenu was looking for a kill there anyway, despite the fact that he does have a level lead against his enemy mid laner. Here comes iceicebaby. Pops the ult. Here comes help from Kalis as well. Taunt into the shield wall. PBM going to avoid the knockup, the Rama shots. She walked into range, but doesn't die. And Team Rival, they get an almost.
Wow. Only tier 2 boots onto PBM, and he still survives all of that nonsense. Earth and Fury, what an ability to turn that team fight right around. And that was a lot invested on a level 5 Terra, but still keep in mind where there's a lack of defense on PBM, there's also a lack of damage from iceicebaby and Wlfy. Having Transcendence at 24 stacks is all fine and dandy, but you don't have the penetration, and then you don't have that extra physical power from your warrior tab eyes.
Something that we haven't touched on just yet, Team Rival support taking a page out of the old eUnited one. Sunder on Kalis. What a spicy pickup here. I mean, this is something that we haven't seen for a long time, but kind of does the same thing. You're getting some damage, and later on, you're getting some amplified damage as well. Oh, it's actually already upgraded. Look at that one.
Quickly trying to increase their damage taken by 20%. Now, in a composition against healers, you would normally go for the Cursed Ankh upgrade, but considering that there is no AoE healing, I guess minus the Monolith from PBM, you can do that. But if you're trying to focus out one individual target with Kalis going in, taunting, the taunt lasts long enough that you could still Sunder.
Scream gets to pull on a DW, doesn't get the feather step though. Benji shows up, cards him. He'll be able to walk away.
Oh, wow. That is so unfortunate because he was looking for iceicebaby. The bead still down for 20 seconds. eUnited not able to capitalize on that opportunity, but they strip away the backcamps on the right side of the map, so at least they get something, and they're positioning and flooding the right side with wards.
Scream coming in off of Benji's help. Here's the ultimate, already carded up, and the exorcism is good. Deathwalker a little too tanky, able to just withstand it. Heal back to base. No teleport though, so it will knock him out of the lane for a little bit.
Oh, the Stinger misses Kalis, but it hits Vote on the backhand side. Neith ultimate odds a PandaCat. Kalis getting the last hit. Doesn't really matter if the support gets that one because that allows Vote the separation of experience.
Yeah, I mean, both of those players surrounded iceicebaby in the jungle. Really no place for him to go, so unfortunately him and his team just watch as PandaCat falls to the wayside. That enables Team Rival to walk right in and take the purple.
That's the disadvantage of a Muzen comp. You don't have any sort of gap closing ability. You have a lot of movement speed once you max out the hives, and going for the regular boots, not going to go for any sort of Talaria boots. Deathwalker now in a 1v2, make that a 2-on-2, landing from the sky. Kalis trying to tip the tides.
Kalis is out of here, Deathwalker's out of here, but the hard way. Venenu collects that kill real quick, puts eUnited on the board, assist off of the Janus and Scream in the jungle.
Just good positioning, no ultimates being invested. Scream holding on to that one. Benji still waiting for his. Venenu was just at the right place at the right time, capitalizing on this Chulainn that doesn't have any real defenses or health to speak of quite yet.
Going back to the Sunder, I think it's because of this man right here. The Zhong, all that protection. I think the Sunder is the plan to knock everybody down. Jeez, you see that damage Zhong's able to do?
It's a little bit. Habwa's going to do more, honestly, at the end of the game. And Blue Buff still going the way of Rival. Deathwalker picks it up. Now, translating from MP5 to HP5 is the way the Chulainn passive works. Could allow him to be slightly more aggressive, but it's so difficult when Scream is camping this side of the map. Normally, he should be in middle, considering he picked this Awilix to counter the Neith.
Deathwalker getting bursted, and that time, eUnited have more than enough damage. Benji, I think, heals up after the Neith ult.
So I was watching some of the Spring Split games, some of the Worlds games, and a lot of the sets had to do with the solo lane matchup. When Deathwalker picked Chulainn this game, I knew he was going for an early game, but Venenu having to use that ultimate, very offensively positioned just to escape against eUnited.
iceicebaby pulled through the wall. He's going to give him the water hands. Ice falls down. but quick damage coming out from the Hobwa, and Wlfy gets the last hit.
Still worth it because despite trading 1 for 1, he also gets the beats from iceicebaby. Just a little bit too slow on the trigger finger. I think that Rival needs to be a little bit more aware against Screammmmm as he kind of hides like a true assassin should in the jungle.
So PandaCat here actually going to rush the boots instead of going the Transcendence, despite picking up Transcendence tier 2 after a little bit in the lane. After he got ganked though, Totally, I think he changed his mind and went boots.
Needed the mobility, and I can't blame him considering that he has to worry about the World Weaver from Wlfy, the water carpet at iceicebaby. If he doesn't have that mobility, then what good is all those Transcendence stacks going to do for him? Now granted, he could just fight into whoever's coming in that lane, but if he doesn't have the assistance from PBM, if he doesn't have Venenu right around the corner or Screammmmm, then that power is not going to translate to escaping.
And also, it's a little bit too early to turn and burn, right? Much later in the game, we're going to see him able to do that.
You need about 2 to 3 completed items. And now that he has Transcendence, he could definitely still fight into a gank out of iceicebaby as long as he preemptively beats the World Weaver.
Zhong looking for a little bit of an invade, as he's done pretty much the entirety of the game. Got the old 10-minute tower. Now PandaCat in some trouble on the left-hand side. Help for the mid lane, and PandaCat wiggles on out of there. PolarBearMike with a huge play, and PandaCat will be safe and sound. The rest of the team making the rotation. Knock up, pull, knock down. PolarBearMike snatches that kill away, and eUnited find themselves up 4-3 in the kill department.
The first pick, Janus from eUnited, showing its work there, being able to not only save PandaCat by allowing PBM to get in position to root, but turning that gank right on its head. The beats from PandaCat thought was a little bit late, but honestly, perfectly timed, being able to avoid some of the very lethal shots Rival were throwing at him.
So for PandaCat here, really curious where the next item is going to be. Usually when we see these amusing cobs, they will go like an Odyssey, whether it's an Aussie or if they have a zillion gold, they'll go a blood for some sort of healing item is what I'm getting at. Snoopy has gone the Soul Leader, and like you said, you don't necessarily expect Panda to go the Soul Leader, but do you expect him to go into lifesteal or just walk over it entirely?
He might not even go lifesteal quite yet. Looking at these team compositions, who's going to really penetrate the backline that deep? iceicebaby doesn't have Blink yet, will have the selection as he hits level 12. Deathwalker could potentially get there, but he's going to be having to go through Benji and Screammmmm. That's going to lock him down in place between the stun and the root. I think that PandaCat can get away for it in the moment, and he will opt for penetration first.
That'll be a nice look for him. Brawler's beat stick also cutting down some of the healing, like you said.
And when you're not dealing that much damage, you're not receiving that much health back from your lifesteal. So you might as well build a little bit of damage to receive the healing after the fact.
One more time, Benji finds himself in the enemy jungle. However, this time, Deathwalker's able to grab the blue buff. Gold Fury started by eUnited. 3 players are here, and that should be enough to keep the red, white, and blue in check. But it won't stop them from going for the objective. Vote gets hit by a little bit of nonsense from the Awilix, but now Kalis could be in trouble. PolarBearMike pops the ultimate, and Screammmmm right aggressive.
Oh, he needs one more shot. Vote could not find it. Wlfy does take him out with the World Weaver, and that's going to have to be a hard disengage. eUnited's Benji did a great job on the right side of the map by zoning Deathwalker and iceicebaby. eUnited, they just dropped the Gold Fury and lost 1 member in a 4-on-3.
Yeah, not the best looks right there. That, of course, is going to keep eUnited in check a little bit. Just about first blood gold separating these 2 teams, and Team Rival looking to keep on keeping on. So with the Neith here, 2-0-2, it's very interesting. She's rather low on the player damage charts here. We don't normally see her in the hunter position all that much. What can you say about Neith and her damage ability?
I think that she's going to be fine. As long as that she's set it up by Kalis, that's the name of the game. Athena, Neith, is as old as time, honestly. Probably older than Chronos since the inception of Smite competitively. You would look for that combo, and because the root doesn't really get diminished too hard by the taunt, so that's the follow-up that you're looking for, and penetration is the way to go with the Brawler Speed Stick, limiting the self-healing from Benji, some of the AoE healing from PBM. I like the build, going for even more penetration, probably with the Crusher.
So are you concerned with the lack of AoE damage here for Team Rival?
No, because iceicebaby just needs one great ultimate scream. Finds a knockup. Callus is the target. Venenu making his way downtown alongside PBM.
Just looking for Callus. There's everybody collapsing. And the Rama player looking for PandaCat, won't be able to find him. So everybody will head back to base so far. Wlfy, nice and healthy. Callus in the box for 20 seconds.
Even though that was a kill, it's probably the least enticing kill that eUnited could have found. With a 20-second respawn timer, Callus could easily come back in, but not going to come back in as Venenu with a crushing wave out of iceicebaby.
Jungle Hebo just doing Jungle Hebo, but here comes the cavalry. Benji from the right side gets the kill on iceicebaby. Scream here as well. And the Jungle Hebo falls down as quickly as he brought down Venenu.
Oh, Bo might be in a little bit of trouble, but eUnited not interested in chasing that kill. Around the corner, PandaCat waiting for the rotation. Great vision control from eUnited, both on the right side of the map, and now transitioning that to the left. Spotting Vote go from the right to the left. Looking for those little ambush plays is how you can find those little sneaky picks that should never happen in the first place to open the window for an objective.
Nobody's still looking for that mid-game Gold Fury, right? We saw a little bit before, but since then, no real commit to it. Is it because neither of these teams really have the secure, or?
Well, the thing was, when eUnited killed Callus, they got to worry about Defender of Olympus. It still would have been a 5-on-5 anyway, and when eUnited failed to do the first Gold Fury in a 4-on-3 situation, I think they want to slow it down, because as the game progresses, that window for the Gold Fury, or the time to kill for the Gold Fury, just decreases so much quicker. So I think eUnited just waiting for some of their items to come online before they try for it again.
I mean, especially with a character like AMC, right? I mean, this character just chews through stuff, and then on the other side for Team Rival, Vote also has a character that can do a ton of damage to the objectives by way of his steroids. So there's a lot of characters on both of these teams that might not necessarily provide the perfect last blow, but really going to provide a lot of the damage. So here comes eUnited, looking for the objective one more time.
They're all 5 here, though. I only see 4, finally 5. Deathwalker coming from the mid lane, but this Gold Fury is so low, Tom.
Still not going to be released just yet. There's the knockup on Benji. Trouble as Team Rival come through. eUnited do confirm the Gold Fury, but iceicebaby takes care of one. Venenu answers back as a 4-on-4. And Deathwalker stuck between the Hunter. Activates the Thorns. Has to worry about his backside as Scream is there. Venenu's low. Venenu's toast. Scream's low pretty as well. PandaCat picks up one. It's a 2 for 2.
PBM able to control Vote for the moment. Callus coming back in the thick of things. PandaCat without his beads, without his egg, as Deathwalker can't catch the bee.
He's slowed up, but Callus does have a dash. And if Callus winds up with a dash taunt, that could be a death onto the Hunter, but it's for sure a death onto the enemy support.
Wow.
PolarBearMike falls down to the hand of Vote. 2, 1, and 4 for the Scottish Rom.
PBM almost finding a solo kill there if he found a stun, but either way, eUnited, despite losing 3 members, only getting 2 in response, they get the Gold Fury, but Rival can still gather some experience on the jungle side. All things still relatively close in this game. 19 minutes in, yes, eUnited have established a 2,000 gold lead, but it's 19 minutes in, F-Dot, and I'm not concerned for the Europeans' chances.
Right, 2K early on. Well, it's not all that early on, is it? We're almost at 20 minutes in, Anatoly.
That's right.
I think it's less about the time on the clock, so 2K at this point is just, it's ignorable because everybody has so many items.
If it was 9 minutes in, then I would be like, okay, eUnited starting to build off of this, but Rival feeling confident that they can win teamfights are grouping up. Tier 1 tower was on its last legs for eUnited. Rival's Tier 1 mid tower can be said to be the same, but Rival switching their efforts to the right side of the map. This Pyromancer's looking mighty juicy.
PolarBearMike wrapping around the back line. Team Rival have no idea he's here. He dashes forward, gets a whole bunch of roots. Meanwhile, there's iceicebaby and Wlfy taking down Venenu. The rest of Team Rival on the retreat. DW in trouble. Benji puts down Vote. 1 for 1 so far. Mid lane for Hunter, but iceicebaby makes it a 2 for 1.
Oh,
Plus, he's in the wrong spot, but he's got Athena.
Defender of Olympus being used, mitigating the damage. iceicebaby doing a wonderful job blinking in the back line and took out PandaCat. The hyper carries out of eUnited are stripped away. Scream still here. iceicebaby setting up a trap, avoids the initial knockup, avoids the stun, and he avoids the root.
Joss getting out of here, but trouble as the feather step shows up. PolarBearMike again with the last hit.
Unfortunately, the rest of Rival were too busy doing the Pyromancer, could not assist their jungler, so sacrificing his life, ultimately making it a 2 for 2, but Rival get the Pyro.
I mean, when it comes down to it, the Pyro is a consolation prize, but it does have some weight to it.
That's true. You're going to be able to get that movement speed out of the fountain for the next minute. So even though iceicebaby dies, once he respawns, picks up a few items, consumables, he'll just zoom right out of that fountain with the carpet and that buff.
So right now, Team Rival, they do have the Sunder. Talk to me. I mean, the Sunder, are we going to see it used later? Or are we going to see because right now what we've seen, or earlier what we've seen was PolarBearMike keeps getting Sundered and then they punish him on top of it. But are we going to see the Sunder be used on Benji or PolarBearMike?
It should be used on Benji. He's too much of a force to be reckoned with. His recall demons can easily zone both Wlfy and Vote. That's why he has such a heavy physical defense build between the Celestial Legion helmet and the Merguardian Male Deathwalker in a 1v1 boxing match that quickly becomes a 3-on-1.
While they're pushed forward, there's Deathwalker getting in trouble. Goomba stomp on top of Scream. Team Rival pushing forward now. PolarBearMike taunted just a little bit. Team Rival look like they aren't sure that they want to retreat, but they're thinking about it. Deathwalker caught up, put in the portal, put in the vortex.
Spread the bees as well. Benji on the backhand side. Rival needs to retreat because Benji is going to play cleanup crew. There goes the backflip. Benji recalling all the demons.
But the damage was not able to be done. Benji falls down to Vote. iceicebaby falls down to PandaCat. Vote from a distance, can't seal the deal.
Hits
1 for 2 so far.
He hit 2, but he missed the third. PBM is immune to that knockup. Deathwalker, though, will not stop. A beautiful taunt! PBM barely escapes with his life.
Man, I thought that was going to be it. He gets the taunt right before the portal, totally.
Just needed a little bit of extra oomph.
Man, close
what
one
a game
right there. Yeah, I mean, it's 23 minutes in, and we've seen how many kills?
23 on the dot. These teams are only separated by about 700 to 800 gold. And eUnited, they want to shatter this consideration of tightness. They want the ones to be in the lead with a Fire Giant.
Yeah, I love the all-out run. They use the Janus ultimate to go right to the Fire Giant, pick it up, walk away. They don't wait for Benji, sorry buddy. But they've got the Fire Giant on everybody else.
This is what makes eUnited such a top-tier elite team. The world defending champions making calls like that, recognizing these windows of opportunities. Despite not being able to get Gold Fury in the earlier stages, their DPS now cannot be denied.
Not at all. Not at all. Tie game at the moment, but that will change. 1,500, 3,000, 4,500 gold on the map as far as the towers are concerned.
3 tier 2s. Some quick maths for you. 24 minutes in. eUnited, though, still probably not going to try to go for these towers quite yet because Team Rival still have some defense available. But when every member from Rival is condensed around a tower defense, that makes Benji that much more effective with how much AoE is under him.
Yeah, that's the scary part. And we saw the poor side of it, right? Benji walked in, popped the ultimate, popped the thorns, and then got popped himself. But that was when the entirety of the team is looking at him, and he's stuck in a corridor.
He needed to wait for maybe a couple of abilities from Rival to be used elsewhere. But the problem was the rest of eUnited was a little too low, dealing with both Deathwalker and Callus on the right side of the map. But now, with all the sustain between the Terra monolith, between the Fire Giant buff, I think eUnited can look for this 4,500 gold.
25 minutes in here. eUnited got the game in their hands, although be it slightly. 2K gold and a fire giant around their waists. Collis dashes forward. Not going to be able to find the taunt that he wants. Now here's the rest. Knock him on a Deathwalker. Pulled, but he's got help from Athena. Now Deathwalker looking to be in the middle of everything. PandaCat deleted. iceicebaby on top. But Benji answers back, puts Wlfy in the ground. Benji's in trouble. Nice portal to help the player out on the left-hand side. Benji ain't got no portal. Benji ain't got no life. Vote picks up another kill. Number 14 for Team Rival.
Who needs Fire Giant? Not I, screams Team Rival as they defend their Tier 2 tower successfully and are about to barrel down the Tier 2 tower. eUnited, they were unsuccessful in their Fire Giant siege because of a beautiful distraction. Through the jungle side, iceicebaby knocks up Scream, and Callis goes in for the taunt onto Venenu, which forced his hand by using the through space and time offensively, and as a result, couldn't use that same ability to escape the wrath of these Europeans.
You know, I'm really liking what's happening here for Team Rival. Pyromancer are going to go in their direction.
Trying to make it happen any way they can, grabbing a Tier 2, grabbing a Pyromancer. This game is all even, Steven, yet again.
So Hebo in the jungle traditionally is one of these characters that needs to snowball, right? He's got to get ahead. He does damage, right? That's all he does. So if he's not ahead, if he's not doing well, he's not doing anything most of the time. But Team Rival have done this where iceice is having a okay game. You can see him on the lower end of the player damage, but what he's transitioned to in this late game as eUnited have sort of taken the reins is he's been the Punisher. He's just letting instead of being the initiator, he's letting the players from eUnited sort of push forward into his wheelhouse, and then he just goes, if you come close to me and my friends, I'm gonna ult you. And that's what he does and they die.
Things become a lot easier for iceice when it's Deathwalker that gets pulled in by Scream's ultimate. Pulling in a Chulainn that's already transformed didn't make PandaCat's life any easier.
That's what Deathwalker wanted.
Yeah, absolutely. And PandaCat's like, let's choose a different target next time, because not only was Deathwalker on him, but he had the Defender of Olympus on top, and there was no retaliation.
PolarBearMike looking for Vote. Vote's gonna take to the sky, firing the shots all around. Here comes Benji! Zhong sends everybody running in a different direction, and although there wasn't a kill there, boy, that ultimate was effective.
Oh, Callis, they can't retreat.
Not again!
Deathwalker, though, doing such a good job zoning that unstable vortex, chunking the Chulainn's life pool. eUnited, though, they have the mobility with the threshold. iceicebaby looking for the ultimate onto Benji.
Where's your ghost now, says the jungle Habwa. Vote NBK a little bit troublesome in the back line. Scream. Where's he at? Over the wall. Looking for Deathwalker. Feather step is good. Venenu, Vahaha. Picks up the kill. Scream goes down to the hand of Wlfy. 2 for 1 so far, but iceicebaby, 3 kills without an answer. Where you at?
Oh my goodness, every time that PBM goes in, he's just getting splashed by some lethal water. iceicebaby's Lakin is so impactful now. It cannot be denied as it's starting to climb the player damage charts. 29 minutes almost on the clock, and we got a slobber knocker here, Tom. 30 kills collectively.
As Bart would say, a barn burner. Back and forth, back and forth. A kill a minute, man. I mean, this is what you kind of ask for when you're looking for the international play. This is what you ask for when you're looking for a World's Final 3-peat. This is what you ask for when you show up to land.
I mean, where was the Neith in the online portion? Venenu trying to steal away this fire giant. It's so dangerously low. Benji takes out iceicebaby.
Where is it? Team Rival pick it up, but boy, it was a close one.
Vote misses the shots. Wlfy will be the second victim. Vote's gonna be the third, but not until he also takes out the Ukrainian hunter. PandaCat gets stripped away, but still Rival walking away with the fire giant, but it's only onto Callis.
Team Rival out of their minds right now. And as I said, over a kill a minute. Benji has just been enforcing his will, walking in, and like I said, even without the kill totally, just able to pop that ultimate, and everybody has to run away. But Rival has adapted, and now that they see when Benji pops the ultimate, they run, and then they come right back in.
And the thing is, every time Benji's going in, Deathwalker's doing the same thing on the opposite side of the battlefield. While he's transformed, he's venting the anger. A lot of AoE damage from his side. eUnited abusing the number game. In a 4-on-2, there was no defense on the right side, Phoenix.
Benji picking up the Magi's cloak is a huge deal, in my opinion. iceicebaby has been looking to isolate the Zhong, knocking him up to try and push him away from the rest of the squad, and now that's just not going to happen when he wants to. So instead, Benji is able to just walk and waddle his way down the lane, and nobody's able to touch him. Free gold for your eUnited.
Now, you can't knock him up, obviously, but I think around certain corridor fights, iceicebaby needs to worry about Benji's positioning and try to slow him down with that water carpet. Considering that Benji doesn't have the wing blade, you can get away with that kind of strategy and still allow the rest of your team to escape the demons.
Look at this right now. Very interesting to see Benji picking up the red buff. And what this does to the late game Zhong, because look at the build. He built up this Warlock staff. He does have a little bit of power on the hybrid stone as well. And of course the booty's gonna give him some power. So the red buff gonna amplify that. Totally sieging into this low Zhong. Look at the respect. Team Rival are kind of respecting the single Zhong, probably because they know there's people to cross the wall, but still.
There goes the ultimate through space and time. A nice knockup from the Chulainn. PBM gets taken out in the backline vote. Still making it happen, but Benji now responding with some demons.
There's the Thorns. Vote's able to take him down. Double kill for the Scottish Hunter. And Rival right now, 5 men strong. Kala still has the Fire Giant, but that's more of an aside. 5 players strong. Only 3 players to play defense, but Rival don't feel confident enough. Totally, what's up?
So, despite not having a front line, eUnited have plenty of damage to take out Rival. I think that's what they're more concerned about.
Scream with the ultimate, I think, is the threat there.
Potentially, but iceicebaby with an ulti of his own, if Scream is out of position, that crushing wave will drown him.
Well, see, we've talked about the bad side of pulling Deathwalker, right? I mean, you're giving the man free blink. He wasn't able to buy blink, and you're giving him blink. Pulling Ice is kind of just as bad. You're going to pull in the Hebo so he can ult your backline? I don't think that's what you want to do at this stage of the game either. So, Tolford, the question I pose to you, Toli, is who does Scream want to pull?
Honestly, anyone but Deathwalker. Preferably Wlfy, obviously, during the backflip, having all the time in the world. But he needs to set himself up if he's trying to catch out Callus or Vote. 2 very difficult targets to hit. The way he's been able to hide in the early stages of the game in the jungle can't be repeated when he's trying to defend some of these Phoenixes.
The problem here, your terminology, is a stalemate.
For now.
This is a total stalemate. So, I mean, what little bit is going to tip the scales? Is it an Emperor armor here? Is it a pick here?
It's who they pick. They don't need Benji dead. They need PandaCat and Scream dead. Now, Venenu being dead that last time around should have been go time between Benji and Venenu, but if they're worried about those 2 targets, PBM is trapped.
You can't be here. You can't be here, Mike. But he's got the Earth and Fury, and he's got his friends around the bend. So, PolarBearMike, let's be real, mistake, but got away with it.
Absolutely. Worldweaver traded for Earth and Fury. A huge win for Team Rival. Without that team fighting ultimate, PBM a lot less impactful. And that's going to be go time for Rival. I think they're waiting for this Fire Giant to respawn in 20 seconds. It'll be the enhanced version, trying to get 30% extra structure damage.
Why don't eUnited want to fight this is the question I would have asked if eUnited didn't want to fight this, but they show up all of a sudden.
PandaCat uses beads, avoids the taunt for the moment. Rival with 2 key points now in this fight. No beads on PandaCat, no ultimate for PBM.
Benji still has his. The tension's big, but we're not going to get a chance to wait. iceicebaby gets hit and has to use the ultimate and has to use the blink. He is a non-factor in this ultimate right now. Vote in trouble. Venenu, though, in the most. He's stuck in the cove. He's got a portal right into the clutches
of DW.
Oh,
Scream
Benji.
picks up Wlfy, 1-for-1. Ain't no mid laner in this fight.
Benji, though, he's on a sliver of health. PBM's ultimate comes back up. The taunt on the PandaCat. He doesn't have beats, but Vote is incredibly low. He has to Aegis. iceicebaby in the backline, waiting for a target to knock up. He had to use his ultimate defensively against through space and time. Knock up onto Vote, knock up onto Scream, taunt onto Scream. He jumps away.
Everybody's so low here, Anatoly. Ain't nobody be able to really come in here. I'm stumbling over my words here because it's just so much action. Fire Giant gonna be picked up here, half HP already. Deathwalker walking in tanky as all hell. He's got Collis along for the ride. 25% of the big boy. Fire Giant looking like it's not going to be leashed. eUnited are here, 10%. Collis is there. eUnited, get the Fire Giant.
Waiting for the taunt onto Benji. He's going to be the target. Look at iceicebaby on the side. He's playing very carefully. Also on the left side is Vote, looking for a target. Needs a couple more shots on Benji, but he's not going to commit with PandaCat around the corner. Look at Callus. He's going for more. World Weaver onto PBM, but timing the taunt. Callus not able to make it happen there.
That whole thing took a minute and 30 seconds just to get the Fire Giant. I mean, this is, at this point in the game, the Fire Giant dies at what, like 5 seconds maximum?
Pretty much.
And so it took a minute and a half just to be able to situate themselves, that team fight where really nobody died, but everybody just felt it. Benji pushed out, Scream pushed out. Venenu and Wlfy were the players that died. That's why you see the mid lane Janus without the Fire Giant. But everybody else has it, and totally, hey, man, if my Awilix and my Muzen Cobb have the Fire Giant buff, I feel like I can do anything in the world.
Now, despite Venenu dying and not receiving the Fire Giant buff, he was the MVP in that previous skirmish. Hitting iceicebaby with through space and time forced the defensive crushing wave, and as a result, the rest of eUnited was just on the chase. They were on the offensive. They zoned Rival so far away from the Fire Giant that they themselves secured their second Fire Giant of the game. They got the right side Phoenix earlier. It has respawned. It's at a weakened state, but instead of going for that one, Tom, they're trying to see what they can make happen in this dual lane side.
I like this choice because usually the way you combat, this has been back and forth, and eUnited are saying, I'm sure they're just saying, let's just win the game. But worst case scenario, Rival kills them. Normally, you get a Phoenix. The way you counteract that is get the enemy Phoenix so that the fire minions cancel each other out. Well, if eUnited get the left side Phoenix, Tolly, there's 2 towers before that Phoenix if Rival want to do that.
PBM, he took so much damage off of that one taunt. He has to try to back off and heal on the left side using the Monolith, using Fire Giant buff sustain. But it's a 2-3 split. Normally we see a 1-4 split with a jungler being able to blink on the backside. And I think that Rival are very happy with this, utilizing Callus's taunt for the engages on the left.
Well, the 2-3 split here is because of the specific characters. It's Janus and it's Zhong. At any point in time, if that team fight goes south on the left side, Zhong will be delivered to the left side Phoenix and just go and show up and make everybody eat it.
Oh, Earth and Fury comes through, knock up onto Callus. He gets rooted in place. There goes the through space and time, but Scream gets taken out first. Venenu avoids the crushing wave. PandaCat stuck in no man's land.
The pull can't be happening on these tanks, Anatoly. iceicebaby does fall to the hand of PandaCat, and eUnited hit number 18. Benji on the back line, back and forth and back and forth. 3 for 2. Vote gets the double kill. And this is what we were talking about. eUnited not even able to break the Phoenix.
Oh, boy.
But they all fall down.
Now, this is definitely not going to be game despite such long respawn timers from eUnited. It probably won't even result in a Phoenix, but there needs to be some towers stripped away on the left side while you can. Fire Giant not due to respawn for another minute 40 seconds. eUnited starting to group up in this mid lane first.
Tie game here. I don't care what the numbers say. This is a tie game. This is the closest we've seen from these teams in a while. Team Rival used to be on top of their world. eUnited used to be on top of their world. But now they're battling face to face, head to head, and this one is certainly a nail biter.
eUnited are just rolling the dice in these little Phoenix sieges because of Venenu's ultimate. If it hits, they win the fight. If it doesn't, then they gotta think about round 2 and how can they re-engage. Rival are making it so difficult between the taunt out of Callus, the knockup from iceicebaby. PBM cannot build any more tanky than he already is at this point. He is fully itemized. He even has Spirit's Robe to deal with the taunts from Calus, getting that 15% damage mitigation. But still, not enough between Wlfy, Vode, and iceicebaby. Also a 3K pot for the Hop-Wop.
I was just gonna bring that up, Toli. So when it comes, a lot of times you sit there and you go, well, you know, I have enough damage, right?
There can always be more.
That's what I'm saying. I was lying. Ain't nobody ever say I have enough damage. But the thing with iceicebaby on this Hop-Wop, this Evo, is that he's got this 3K pot rolling and rocking now. He's going to be able to just delete PandaCat or Scream.
Absolutely.
Just gone in arguably one shot.
They're having a difficult time dealing with both frontliners. Calus and Deathwalker have not allowed PandaCat to breathe, and that's why he's looking to try to be very mindful about his position in the backline, even opted for the Mag-Ice Cloak. That's how disruptive that front line is.
So right now, the Fire Giant being started up by Team Rival. And the positioning, they have the damage. They also have an opponent, eUnited here. PolarBearMike almost obliterated. Where did that damage come from? Vote can't finish it off. Deathwalker on the chase. PolarBearMike able to make it on out. Meanwhile, here comes assistance and everybody looking towards Benji. Not able to exit. Vote with the body block. And Benji falls down.
A whole 62 seconds remaining until Benji comes back up. eUnited should be able to get this Fire Giant unless Venenu can steal it with through space and time. He did use it, but it's a little late. PandaCat using the bees needs to find the portals.
Yeah, there's a nice portal from Venenu to keep everybody at bay. The damage from the Vortex not bad either. But PolarBearMike gets swagged on. Wlfy kills him with the backflip.
Wow, Venenu with a portal on the ground, unstable Vortex. I thought for some reason, somehow, eUnited were about to win that 4-on-5 until PBM gets absolutely melted with a late game DPS from this ROM. Top of the charts, 40,000 mark.
In comes
This
Rival.
could be game.
Could be game. Keep an eye on it. They do want the Phoenix first. Mid lane Phoenix under attack. Venenu and PandaCat and Scream all looking on. Kalish dashes forward, threatens the taunt. Will not activate it just yet. Rival falling back. They've got homework to do, Toli. Tier 1 and Tier 2 on the left-hand side.
Wanting to eliminate the protections, health, and damage from eUnited's Titan. Rival, they want the best possible advantage going into game number 2.
Well, I mean, watching this one, we've seen eUnited fall down at a Phoenix with a Fire Giant buff. I think Team Rival is sitting there going, that could be us.
It definitely
so they are
can.
just taking this slowly. And Toli, usually I'm the one to bark about not being aggressive. Usually I'm the one saying, go for the Titan. What are you doing? No,
not in this situation.
Not this time. Rival, maybe this back might annoy me more than I'm letting on, but the idea to take off all of the structures is absolutely imperative if Team Rival want to be able to take this one out.
They didn't want to deal with a split push Janus. That's why they back. Left side Phoenix still has plenty of time to be stripped away. 2 minutes and 10 seconds on the buff around Rival's waist. And the 3K potion for Wlfy onto 3K potion for Vote. These Hunters really going to start swinging in some of this damage. Both of them even having Odysseus bows. So when eUnited group up, that is just chaining off of everyone.
I mean, with the Neith, you kind of need that Odibo because you went the power build earlier on, so you don't have access to things like the Executioner and other things that are assisting your attack speed. So the Odysseus bow is certainly a nice look.
Looking at some of the items from eUnited, where is the Witchblade? Not really seeing it.
Yeah.
Guardian Mail from Benji was purchased earlier, but I think he sold it to pick up that Spirit's Robe, so he is getting melted as well from some of these Hunters.
We do see the Witchblade on the other side of the map,
Yes.
though. Team Rival have the Witchblade, and that you might be looking at that kind of oddly, but Awilix in these late stages becomes a basic attack character, especially with that ultimate. Team Rival looking for what could be the final push here, but eUnited certainly here at bay. Again, Deathwalker is the full target, but this time he's able to take damage. PBM takes more.
Oh, Vote and Wlfy gets clipped by the ultimate. PandaCat able to clip Vote from a distance. Trying to make it happen is Vote, scaring away Venenu. Left side Phoenix still healthy and strong, but that Titan took a little bit of chip poke.
Yeah, 60% on the big guy already. Meanwhile, Benji, where'd he go? Where'd he go?
He's gone. If not, and Scream could be gone as well if he's not careful.
Meanwhile, Scream gonna go hide in the base. Nice taunt coming out from Collis.
Forcing the beads out of Venenu. This final Titan push is going for Rival.
Nice job there from Team Rival, taking game number 1. What a bounce back, everything back and forth with these teams.
I think we had something about 40 kills collectively between these two teams. What a start to this best of 3 set, the clash of metas between North America and Europe. We haven't seen Neith at all, I'm pretty sure, in the online portion, but Wlfy not hesitating, setting up with iceicebaby's Habwa.
Yeah, I mean, it was about 46 kills at 43 minutes before that final push, and then towards the end, obviously, we saw a number of players fall down to the wayside, so that went even more. iceicebaby looks perfectly content with himself.
Oh, he looked dominant on the Habwa, honestly, and Benji looked very scary for eUnited. If there's something to take from the game was the beginning to mid-game out of the Zhong, but once it got to the later stages, he just started to fall to the Sunder, to some of these taunts and the controls coming from Callus. A very crucial relic selection.
Yeah, the Sunder, definitely, you know what? Kind of the butt of a lot of people's jokes, but at the end of the day, this one really brought it through. MVP, who's that guy? That's what we ask you in Mixer Chat. At the end of the day, I mean, Sunder? Can I give it to a relic?
It could be Callus.
Can I give it to a relic?
The amount of taunts that he had that set up kills onto PBM, it allowed Rival to continue to fight 5-on-4 in the later stages.
I think a lot of the problem also was the fact that eUnited just didn't have the Awilix pulls that they wanted.
Yeah.
They kept pulling Deathwalker, and you know what? At the end, they were able to finally kill him.
Not the target.
But just unfortunate. You don't want to bring the Chulainn to your friends.
Nope.
Sorry.
He's not invited to the party.
He's not invited to the party, but you know who is? Graham and Aggro.
Yay, I like parties,
Let's
especially
go to the party.
ones that go 40 minutes and are that contested the whole way through.
What kind of parties are you going to?
The fun ones.
Well, clearly. I mean, that was a fun.
If there's not a good
Smite
fight at
game.
a party, it's not a good party.
That's
Just
a
be honest.
Manchester sentence if I've ever
There you
heard
go.
one. Look, that was a great game between these two teams, but they said at the end, but I don't think they gave it enough credit. This Sunder for Kalas was huge.
Yeah.
It was so critical in what they were
First
doing.
relic, too.
First relic, it gets them first blood
Yep.
in lane. But most importantly, when eUnited is playing with 1.5 frontliners, Zhong counting for half a frontliner, being half tanky, PolarBearMike being the one true frontliner, you just don't get to survive. How many fights started off with PBM at 10%, 5% dead right off the bat?
Yeah.
And then Rival, they're going to win 5v4s like it's nothing. I mean, even if they use some ultimates, some relics in order to get that initial kill onto a frontliner, it's easy pickings after that. I will say that I think eUnited looked a little bit disjointed to me. I'm thinking of one fight in particular when Rival sieging the tier 2, when Ven has this great angle to cut off with an ultimate to dissect it right through blue buff. That is where Janus make their money right there. That's one of my favorite ult spots in the entire game. But PBM and Benji go in early.
Yeah.
Ven takes too long to ult. They both die. Ult doesn't really connect. I don't know if it's one of those two parties. Either Ven is late or PBM and Benji were early. But eUnited cannot afford to look like that against a team as good as Rival.
eUnited then back to the drawing board for game 2, but surprisingly enough, Mixer Chat has voted in favor of Callus to be the MVP here. It's not offered a support get MVP whatsoever.
It's not often a support has a 13.0 KDA. I mean, this dude
Yeah.
was making it happen, no doubt. There's a reason that you don't give Kalas Athena. We talked about it a lot during picks and bans. Are eUnited going to give that up right away? Is it worth first picking and giving up Janus? Then didn't have a very inspiring performance in that game. You know, a lot of times playing Janus is kind of a crapshoot.
Yeah.
I'm either hitting this ultimate, winning the fight instantly, or we have to work harder in order to win that fight. But it felt like he was missing a lot more than he was connecting. And while that's usually okay, it really felt like eUnited needed it. Their team composition was too early to mid-game focused to be able to not have big through space and times in the late game.
I'm almost